Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Stylist Rant podcast. I'm Kristen, your host, and Tone, our co-host. So excited to be back for this episode. We have a lot to talk about today, y'all. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about influencing and all the things and how it ties into styling, and just our opinions on everything because we have a lot to say. We have a lot to say if y'all haven't already noticed. Definitely make sure y'all are subscribed and make sure y'all are paying attention to all of the episodes. This is episode 5, I want to say. I know we did 2 parts for episode 4, so that part 2 will be coming out very soon. And this will be coming out in November. So it's getting chilly, it's getting cold, it's fall. It's one of
Yes,
my
I'm so
favorite
happy that the
holidays.
fall is
Well, we're
like
not
actually
holiday
here.
season.
It is holiday
Yeah.
season though, because I feel like Halloween kicks off like holiday season. So yeah.
Yes, yes. And we're excited. The leaves are pretty. It's nice outside. So,
Mhm.
and we get to wear jackets and leather. So,
Yes.
I'm
Okay, you know me.
excited
I
for
can't
that.
wait to bring out my jackets. Like I love a good jacket.
I love it. Well, yes, y'all. If this is your first time tuning in, this is the Stylist Rant podcast where I'm trying to figure out what to say, but like we talk about all things style, all things fashion, and we rant about all things style and all things fashion, really giving you a different perspective on what a stylist can look like in the industry of styling, and all the things. So I'm excited to kick off today's episode. Like I said, we'll be talking about social media content. And before we hopped on, I was talking to Tone about this email that I got. So, if y'all didn't know, I'm a stylist for a brand called Emma Fleur,
Mhm.
which is a women-owned brand that sells women's clothing, workwear, weekend wear, a little bit of everything. And I love what they have to offer. And I got an email from them about them reaching out or securing 2 more influencers for the bento box styling that we do. So, bento box styling is very similar to something like Stitch Fix, or I know it was another brand you mentioned, Navely, I think. Newly, yes, I've heard of them. So basically, you have to do a quiz and you're connected with the stylist, and then the stylist makes suggestions on what you can purchase. It's not try before you buy, but it's more so you purchase the clothing, and then if it doesn't work, you just return it. Our return policy is very easy and free. So I got the email saying that they had secured 2 influencers, and I'm like, let me go look at these influencers they didn't talking about they secured. So one of them, I had only looked at one of them. Of course, one of them was from Baltimore. I'm like, I didn't seen this girl before. Like, what in the world? She's cute. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the influencer thing, I just don't understand it. I do follow and love a lot of influencers and I appreciate them. But influencing is very different from styling. And I feel like social media has kind of unintentionally blended the two. And I feel like I don't want to say it's not fair for stylists, but it's just confusing to anybody on the outside who is looking for some direction or guidance when it comes to fashion and styling. A lot of people I feel like look to these influencers, which is great. Like many of them do know what they're talking about. But what y'all don't realize is that many of them only dress themselves. They don't have the expertise of dressing other people, which I feel like is something that, well, obviously, it is something that really sets us apart as stylists. We dress people, we dress other people, different sizes, different body shapes, different complexions, different ethnicities, different races. Style influencers, for the most part, only dress themselves. So it kind of puts them in a box. And I feel like these brands are just looking at the numbers and they're like, oh, a lot of people follow them, which means a lot of sales, which could essentially be a great thing. But don't like sleep on the stylist. Like I don't really understand. So I would love to hear like your input on that. And we can definitely continue to talk about this topic throughout the episode.
Yes, so I definitely agree with the influence over expertise. I think that there are truly stylists out here that are their main goal is really to fit your body, teach you about your body, showing you how to build capsule wardrobes and things like that. I feel like just even using yourself and myself as examples. For instance, we have websites. On our websites, we are educating you. It's not more of a selling something. It's more of like you come to our website for more education. We have downloadable items, how to build a capsule wardrobe, how to shop, what to look for while shopping, places to shop. You have the body Bible, learning how to fit for your body, knowing, what silhouettes complement you the best. To me, that is the expertise that you need as a stylist. Me just saying, oh, this came down the runway, I think this is what you should wear. Absolutely not. That's not more so styling. That's literally just shopping. Like, oh, I love this coming down the runway. Let's buy this. That's not more so styling. That's not more so me looking at that piece like, is that going to fit my client right? Is this a client right piece? Is this just a trend? Is my client a trendsetter, or is she more of a simple girl? Things like that. Like I said, a lot of people dress themselves and then they'll just dress their client how they dress themselves. I see that every day, working for Stitch Fix. Of course, I'm a super fashionable girl, love a statement piece. Every client on Stitch Fix is not like that. They just want a simple crew neck, a simple pair of dark wash jeans, and a simple pair of boots. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So I think without even having that type of experience or exposure, how can you, and don't get me wrong, there are some people that are the exception and not the rule, but a lot of these influencers don't know about the different fabrics, the different textures, what colors look good on this skin complexion, what colors don't look good, just things like that. I really think it goes beyond, oh, in my mind, this outfit looks cute together. But how does the outfit look in real life? How does that translate to real life? And I think social media has really blurred those lines, because for instance, you'll have someone that says they're a stylist, you'll go to their page, all they have is like collages of clothes, not knowing how does that outfit truly translate in real life outside of pictures. Can they walk in that outfit? Can they
Yeah.
move in that outfit? Things like that. So again, back to the influence over expertise. That's another thing that's also, I would say, contributing to the pollution and the whole fast fashion aspect, because a lot of these stylists aren't helping clients build capsule wardrobes. Or some people think, oh, as a stylist, I only need to dress celebrities, so I only need to be looking for gowns and all these expensive things, where to me, styling has moved from more of like a luxury service to like a practical practice, is what I like to say, because you can use a stylist in your everyday life. Like I said, I do it every day on Stitch Fix. People are looking for everyday items and things like that. So again, you people don't even know the type of stylist that they are. Are you an editorial stylist, or are you a personal stylist? Are you a personal shopper, or are you an image consultant, like getting the whole look together? So you get what I'm saying? Again, it goes back to the expertise. I don't think that there is a lot of knowledge in the industry. There's just more so, oh, this is what I saw on the internet, so let me just run with it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a lot to unpack from what you just mentioned. I know one of the things you said was, just how influencers don't, not all of them. And y'all, I definitely don't want y'all to think that we're trying to bash influencers, because that's not what this topic of conversation is about. It's really about letting you all know that influencers have influence, but many of them do not have that expertise, like Tony mentioned. And I don't think they're meant to have that expertise. I don't, well, they can, but it's not necessarily like a part of what they do. Their job is to influence, and it's to influence in whatever way they see is influential. And that could look different for every influencer. I'm not expecting them to know how to fit certain body shapes or knowing what different fabrics pair well. And if they do, I feel like that's an added value. But that's the whole premise behind this conversation, is to say, like, stylists have that. So why don't these brands consider a stylist to influence or to sell their clothing, as opposed to going to someone who just only dresses themselves? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And to go off of what you mentioned about, some stylists out here don't even know what type of stylist they are. That's a whole nother conversation that we can talk about and have been having since we've been in the industry. Like you said, I mean, styling is definitely something, personal styling and even fashion styling is definitely something that's more attainable for the everyday person now that we're in 2024. But there's still a lot of people who don't see it as such, which I don't know what's happening, or I don't even know what conversations people are having, but anybody can use a stylist. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't dress or you don't know what you're doing. Like that could be a part of it. But for me, a lot of my clients just don't have the time. A lot of my clients don't have the capacity. And also, they don't have the knowledge. They don't know how to dress their new bodies. Many of them have had children. Many of them have gone through weight loss. Like now their bodies are different and they don't necessarily know how to dress their new bodies. So it's always, when it comes from a stylist standpoint, I think we can both agree that it's always an educational experience. It's always an experience where we are building a relationship with the client. It's not just putting them in an outfit. Like you said, a lot of these stylists sometimes just have like little outfit boards, which is like, that's a great place to start. That's what we used to do. If y'all are familiar with Polyboard, it's not around anymore. That was my jam, putting outfits together. And that's kind of where it started. Obviously, I didn't have anybody to dress back then aside from myself. So that was my way of like dressing people. But as time went on and as I began and as we began to mature in our careers and in our expertise, we began to dress actual bodies, and it gave us an opportunity to see the fit and the fabrication and how things actually look on certain shapes. So I don't know. It's really I don't know if this will ever change or if social media is making it worse, but it's very frustrating for us. Um, I know for me, I got an Instagram in 2012 and I started my blog in 2013. I started styling in 2014. Back then, I wasn't really posting too much like style stuff until I actually like started realizing like, oh, I think I want to do this as a business, or I think I want this to be my thing. But like now, I feel like social media is so like business heavy or like entrepreneurship heavy or like selling heavy. And I don't know. It got to a point where I don't even halfway want to be on social media anymore. But let me know your thoughts. Like, when did you get an Instagram, and like, how has your content kind of evolved, like over time? And has it
I
been beneficial? Like, do you love it? Do you hate it? I know you
I
hate
feel
Instagram.
like my whole relationship with the internet is just different because I was just such
Yeah.
an internet girl. Like, I love Tumblr, I love the MySpace. So I feel
Yes.
like, and you know me, when it comes to this fashion stuff, I am true to this. Y'all know my mother. So this is not anything new. So to even be on the internet, first of all, my mother monitored all my pages. So when I was on the internet, like MySpace pages, I could only have a MySpace page if it had a theme. So it was like my mom will make me update my theme every month on my MySpace page because she saw it as like a creative opportunity, less of,
Mhm.
oh, you're on here to talk to people. No, my mom is such an Aries. Like literally how I think now my mom has already thought we are literally the same person. So in her mind, she's thinking, oh, use this MySpace like a little blog, like promote your outfits.
Mhm.
I've been getting dressed. Like we've been putting clothes on. So she's take
Right.
pictures and just upload your outfits on here and things. So she was already using social media in that way. You know me, we're teenagers and think, oh, I'm trying to talk to people on here. Like I'm trying to
Right.
get the note. And whole time she's just like, no, you should upload your outfits and things like that. So I feel like I've had my blog since 2008. You get what I'm saying? For you to make an Instagram in 2012, girl, I was already on. You get what I'm saying? Like because you got to think, I had started with my thrifting content. So it's like, I feel like my entire identity on the internet has always been fashion based. Literally since my first MySpace page, because from MySpace it went to Facebook. So, and even I feel like on Facebook, that was probably the most social um platform that I've ever been on because that was like family. So it's not like I'm not trying to sell styling to family, at
Yeah.
that time. You're not thinking that. I'm just like, oh, we posting pictures from the cookouts and Christmas. That's what Facebook was to me. But I feel like when I got Instagram, I already had a blog. If you go back to my Style Fanatic Stylings page and go all the way to the bottom, all
Hmm.
my pictures are literally photo shoots. Like, oh, check out. I'm posting pictures to drive sales to my blog. I'm not posting on Insta. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like my relationship with the internet was just already different when I got on because I kind of came on the internet kind of with the business. Like, okay, I have a blog. I'm a thrifter. Like that was my thing. So I feel like because I have been on the internet so long, I can't stand the internet. You know me now. You're much more active on the internet than I am now. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to, as far as like starting my vlog and being active on LinkedIn and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I have my spurts of being active, and that's just the ADHD in me. It's some things I just am not consistent in, and I'm okay with that because I try. As long as I try, I can't be upset. So like I say, I feel like I have literally been on the internet for 20 years. That sounds crazy, I know, but I have literally been on the internet for almost 20 years. So my outlook on it is you see me, Kristen, when I post, it is literally something business. I don't even post for pleasure anymore. I haven't posted a birthday in 2 years. I didn't even post my 30th birthday. Like that is how disconnected socially I am from the internet. Like everything I post on the internet has literally something to do with Morgan State University or has something to do with the digital factory as far as like business operations or it strictly has something to do with my business. Like
Yeah.
literally, I'm only time I'll probably get social is like Twitter and Facebook, like as far as like informal social goals. But even then, I still try to keep things business because what else is there to talk about? You
But
get
I
what I'm
think
saying?
that's the thing. Yeah. And I think that's the whole difference, another difference between being a stylist and an influencer. Like as an influencer, depending on what you want to talk about, you have to be consistent on social media. You have to share whatever you want to share about in your life. You have to like share these things so people can know like what you're doing, where you're
Whereas
at.
though,
Like,
as a stylist, I'm gonna always have clients because everyone knows I'm a stylist. Whether literally, and that is the thing that goes back to everyday styling. I style some people who don't even have social media. You will never
yeah,
see a picture of them online, but they still need styling because they still have things in their everyday life to do. They may get still a picture taken because they're going to an event or something like that. But I style so many people without social medias. That's why I say it goes beyond social media for me. I'm not
exactly.
going to I don't need social media to get clients because I have done the groundwork of creating a website. So I have emails going out in places and actually networking. People know, oh, I need a stylist. Maybe I should call Tone. Even if she can't do it, she may know someone. I feel like I have really already laid, and I'm maybe just one of those lucky ones, but I feel like I have been able to lay a true foundation outside of social media for my business. So I don't really have to get on Instagram every day to post to get clients and
Yeah,
things like that. So like you said, an influencer, I have to update y'all every day of what's going on, what's hot, what's trending. And as a stylist, it's like I can dress you 7 times and have outside of my portfolio pictures, have nothing on the internet about it.
yeah. Which I think is something that I feel like a lot of stylists that are coming into the industry now, they don't really realize that their priorities are so different. They look at these influencers thinking that, oh, that's what I have to do. I have to have professional photos of myself in different outfits. I have to post every day. I have to be active every day. And it's like, I feel like that's a great start to building your foundation, but it's not a necessity. When I started my journey, I don't know if did I have a mailing list? I definitely did start growing it earlier, in my journey, but it wasn't something that like I was on and off. Like I was sending emails and then like I would fall off and then I would send more emails and I would fall off. Then I would unsubscribe people. People would unsubscribe themselves. Now I'm in a space where I send an email every Friday. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But I need the emailing list because just like you said, having that helps so that you can continue to run your business and consistently sustain and maintain your business without feeling like you have to be on social media. Many of my clients, like you mentioned, they don't have social medias either. And if they do, it may be a Facebook, but like I personally hate Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. You'll see me on LinkedIn, you'll see me on YouTube, and then I'm on Instagram just because, like, I'm there. But aside from that, like, and I enjoy TikTok every once in a while. But the thing about social media and being a stylist is that you really have to determine who your audience is and where they are so that you can consistently show up on that platform, consistently or not consistently, depending on where you are in your journey. LinkedIn is my social media platform of choice because that's where my audience is. And showing up there consistently for me is about 3 times out of the week. If I have content to post, more content to post, and I'll share it more often. But the platform has to make sense for you. And, a great start would be to just show up on any platform that you love and that you enjoy and kind of see where it goes from there. I don't feel like I get any clients from Instagram. So that's not a place that I'm constantly on, at least on my business page. But you'll see me on my personal page showing up if I got a cute outfit to showcase. But going back to what you said, Tone, about your mom kind of encouraging you to use social media back then, before Instagram, before, all the TikToks and all the things, we had Facebook and we had MySpace. Barely had Facebook because at one point Facebook was only for college students. And I remember, I think I was in the eighth grade, you may have been in the seventh, or just middle school in general. That's when they transitioned. Like, oh, anybody can use Facebook now. I was pressed. But back then, although I loved fashion and fashion I knew was something that was a part of me, it wasn't something that I was posting. My priorities were different. And also too, my parents aren't creatives. Like my parents was like, what are you doing on my space? Like I would literally have to run off the computer when I heard them coming because they're like, you don't need that. You don't need to be on there. It's like, what? What are y'all talking about? So I had to sneak around and use social media. And for me, that kind of, I guess, messed up my experience because I feel like I didn't really have control over when I wanted to get on. And when I was on, I had to hurry up and be on. So I really wasn't intentional with that time, that I was on social media. It wasn't until I got to college where I was on my own and I was able to really understand like what I want to do with my life. And fashion was the first thing that popped into my mind. And that's when I started to be a little bit more intentional with social media. And I feel like it's so crazy because I've been thinking about this heavy lately. But we really used to take professional photos. Like we would work with the photographers. We would go outside and take outfit pictures, changing in the car, doing all the things that the influencers do now. But back then, nobody saw it as such. Nobody saw it as, oh, she's an influencer or a content creator. Barely even saw us as a, well, at least for me, I can't speak for you, but barely even saw me as a stylist. I was just somebody who was posting cute outfits. So I'm like, how was what we were doing back then not as, I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say, but like I just felt like nobody was paying attention to me back then. And I was doing all the things that the influencers were
But I
doing.
mean, that's life
Now,
though. When things first happen, no one's paying it attention. It has to happen over
going on.
years, and people catch on. We know that. That's just life. But I think even with you saying that, oh, we worked with photographers and things, that kind of goes back to what I mean when I said like we built the foundation. I feel like a lot of these people now are super entitled when it comes to this industry. Like, oh, I don't do work for free, or and I believe we've had this conversation plenty and many of times,
Oh,
but you and I feel like also before this whole social media, before everybody was so rich and so paid, like people did free work. People did what you call it trade for print. We all will work on this shoot. We will all get the pictures. We will all be able to promote. We will all add it to our portfolio in hopes that one of us can get a big time gig and then we all bring each other up. That's how I feel like we used to operate in a lot of these circles. Nowadays, it is so cutthroat. And don't get me wrong, I mean, that's any industry, but it's just like with fashion now, it is just so cutthroat. There are no more, oh, let's just collab for the fun of it, or let's just do a little test shoot. Like, No, baby, everyone has to get paid. If you're not getting paid my budget, then we're not doing it. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Everyone has a worth. I'm not saying do all these shoots and things for free, but I do think we have lost the art of collaboration, and we
Yeah.
have lost the art of working maybe for free one time and
Hmm.
then being able to take those connections. Like, for instance, Alan, if anyone knows Alan from studio photography, me and Alan have been shooting together since 2012, 2013. To this day, Alan knows if he needs anything fashion wise, call me. And I know if I need anything fashion photography wise, call Alan.
Hmm.
That is a relationship. Me and Alan have done hundreds of shoots together. We haven't paid each other. All we did was make sure we was on our parts. Alan, I'm gonna do this. Alan, you do that. This, that, and the third. And there are
Yeah.
just so many other photographers and videographers, models, other stylists, bloggers, just so many other makeup artists that I have collabed with literally over 10 years ago that I'm still in
Mhm.
great business with. I can still call them to be like, hey, got an opportunity. What's going on? So I think we have literally lost the plot of this. We're not doing collabs anymore. We're not networking like we used to. Me and Kristen used to go to events just to be pressed to meet somebody. We don't care who it was. Let's go to this event, Chris. We going
Mhm.
here. We got business cards. We're passing them out. We're talking to people. Like, they're not even doing that anymore. A lot of these networking events are parties. They're not networking events. They're not showing how to make long lasting connections. So I think we have definitely lost a lot of the foundational plot of what it means to even be an entrepreneur when it comes
Yeah.
to this industry. But that can be a whole topic for another day.
Yeah.
But when it just comes to styling and social media, just to land this plane, I do think the influence over expertise is just the biggest takeaway from this. And I'm not saying just because you are an influencer, you don't have expertise, but there are some people who have truly dedicated their craft to knowing how to dress the body and knowing what
Mhm.
works well for different bodies, body shapes, silhouettes, and things like that. So,
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree. And just to hit on the events piece, I was just at an event yesterday at the Baltimore Museum of Industry. It was a fashion event. I and I know you saw it because you had commented on it, and it was sponsored by PNC and ran by Brienne, who is Black Ass Flea Market, which is a great platform. It's not a fashion based platform, but a platform that hosts different vendors and different spaces for Black creatives of any industry. And it was a really cool event. The panelists were great, but I will say, there was no stylist on the panel. And the conversation and the topic of conversation that was had was basically about things that I talk about every day. So I'm going to this event, like, why am I not on the panel? And I'm leaving the event like, so again, why was I not on the panel?
and
I
that's what I'm
just
saying.
I
Yes.
just don't understand. And it's no like nothing against that platform. I love them. But it just sucks because it's people that have been doing the fashion thing and doing the styling thing for years, and that we don't get invited to these events. So we're not a part of these events like we should be. And I'm not understanding why. Um, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Even the non-fashion events, but the branding events, the personal development events, the events with like conferences for women, the summits for women, they'll have everybody else on the panel. They'll have a graphic designer, they'll have a marketing person, they'll have a storyteller, they'll have a photographer, they'll have everybody else but a stylist. And it's so frustrating to me because none of that is even possible without style. You can't market something without styling it. You can't take a photograph of something without styling it. I mean, unless you're like doing scenery photography, but most of these people are taking photos of people who are styled. Like all of that, the branding, the marketing, the storytelling, like all of that is style. So it just frustrates me that these companies or these brands on these platforms don't consider having a style expert as a panelist because we have so much information and so much education to share
Yep.
um, that is very useful to everyone. and I'm just not understanding where the disconnect is. And I've been proposing myself as like and maybe I need to put speaker, or maybe I need to put like something like that in my bio for people to know like what's up. But it's I don't know. I don't know if you have any last words to say about that, but and that you even want to be a speaker. I know that you have been in the past, but I
Yeah,
know
but
that's
I
my
feel
thing.
like also these people, and you know me, Kristen, my tolerance for ignorance or just not knowing is just very low. So I don't care to
Yeah,
even speak with people who don't even know what's going on. Don't get me wrong, I'm always here to inform. I'm always here, but some people just think they already know it all and they already know so much, and that's how we get to the influence over expertise.
yeah,
Sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. So like I said, if I'm even at an event and it's a fashion event and there's only one fashion person, I don't even want to be at an event like that, because it's already not geared and targeted towards what's going on. There should be more fashion people than anyone there. Even how we just had the conversation with you all the last time, like, bring back stylists, bring back fashion journalists to the front row of these shows, bring them back to the panelists, bring fashion back to the forefront, bring the expertise back to the forefront, not just the, oh, this looks good, this looks aesthetically pleasing. No, put the
yeah,
actual people who bear the knowledge to the front so that we can continue to push out the correct knowledge, the right knowledge. That's really
yeah.
my hope.
Because at this point, we're just wasting time and we're wasting clothes.
And wasting
Like,
clothes, we're wasting breath, things like that. And I'm not
money.
one, I feel like I'm so far into my journey, I don't even have time, nor do I care. If someone who is truly interested in fashion wants to know about fashion, they know where to find me, they know where to hire me, they know where to book me or contact me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's just how I feel about it.
yeah,
Everybody knows until they don't.
right. Well, we're going to drop the mic on that note. We hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. We can talk about this all day, every day. I don't know what the next episode will be about just yet, but we may even continue this conversation depending on, what y'all say. So definitely let us know in the comments y'all thoughts on this topic, which y'all would like the next episode to be about, or if y'all want to continue talking about this topic, because there's so much we can dive deep into about this. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Do you have any last words that you want to add, Tone, or have you said everything?
No, I would just say, stick to what you know, promote what you know, and be quiet
Yeah.
about things you don't know.
And if you don't know, ask somebody who does.
Ask somebody who actually knows, pick up a book, read an article, do something. Let's just all inform ourselves so that we can be influencers and expertise at the same time.
Yes, yes. I love it. Well, thanks y'all so much for tuning in with us. We will see y'all on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.